I was playing some Scythe, and when you more or less chooses a mech, you get an upgrade, and it's like, do you want water walking, do you want seaworthy, or do you want artillery? I do love I just mumble for myself, and after that, like, oh, now we would know we're going to war. Like, huh? Wait, what? Like, it really confused me as the hell. I don't like. I know whenever I say something, but sometimes I feel like even when I mumble, people don't really know what I'm doing. Yeah, exactly. I don't really know if it was called water walking, but it's literally like you can cross the river with your mechs. It's a fun game. It's not really that easy. Let's see. I think everything is fine. Sometimes stuff is. I forgot I put on the costumes. Oh, so the
Those days in London seem like a dream, but I do miss my time in England's vast capital.
so in the first game you could not have the costumes on,
He's flourished into a truly wonderful
but
lord.
I forgot I had put them on, so they were like being saved in the background there.
His fighting
That's not
style
technically how she looks like.
Forgive me for taking so long to come to visit you. My life has been such a whirlwind since I returned. And no one could have predicted.
I don't know who that might be.
2 months after arriving home.
Oh, isn't that a woman again?
So I came here today to ask something of you. Tomorrow, I shall be standing in court. For the only time in my life.
Who is that? I cannot read that.
As a lawyer.
Wait, you're gonna be a lawyer this time? Oh shit. It literally looks like the lady from the first game as well.
So please.
It is!
Ask for your
It
guidance.
actually is, but she's dead. Oh, it's him. Okay. Now I know whose grave that is. I was a bit worried because she was going back to Japan because her father had gotten sick. So the person I am is still in England, training to be a lawyer, and she went back. So now as she was standing by grave, I didn't really know who that was, but Kazuma is literally the person who was supposed to go to England in the first game, but on the boat journey there, he got murdered. Oh, and also, something I do remember but always forget at the same time is that I am gonna do so many voices in these games, just so you know. Oh no! I just realized I'm gonna play as her right now. Oh shit, also my camera is a bit low. Hold on. Because I have a main voice, which is just my own voice for the main character. But I'm not the main character. I have her right now. Oh, this is gonna be bloody fantastic. I'm not gonna do the thoughts though. That's gonna be too much. That's the father. Ah, good morning. Ah, good. You're here. It doesn't. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh yes. Good morning, sir. Which is technically her father. I hardly recognize you. You can cut a fine figure, counsel. But you look as white as a sheet. And those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Oh dear. Oh Jesus, I just realized who I'm gonna be. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous. I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish that I'd never been born. Oh god. Yeah, that's a thought you never want to have. Doesn't matter how much of a joke that is sometimes. Oh goodness. Not the sort of thing a father hoped to hear from his daughter, I must say. Yeah, it's literally the father. They're called Mikotoba, but I call them Mikotobak because tobak is literally just tobacco in Swedish. So I just say Mikotobak. Or at least trying to remember saying that. Yep. Oh, I'm not gonna do a voice. Sometimes I do a voice whenever there is question marks. And it's just because I'm guessing who it is, I am doing the wrong voice. Would I be correct if I think that you're to be my lawyer in court today? Oh, yes. Yes, that's right, Miss... Oh, well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's a complete fabrication, the whole thing. Wouldn't surprise me, the first time was that as well. But at that time, it was actually the lady with a hat that was the murderer. It would be a very weird if it actually was Iris who was there. Because Iris is actually the daughter, 10-year-old daughter, of the one that got murdered in the first game. And he got murdered by that lady. Rei Membami. Hold on. I'm curious. I need to check something because there are some puns here. Nah, okay. For example, the main character is called Naraudo, which more or less means I see, as in, I understand now. So it's kind of fun to just find puns and stuff in this game. For example, we have a Russian sailor called Beef Stroganov, which is just literally just beef stroganoff. Oh, good lord. I do love these games, though. And sadly, she's the... Yeah, I understand that she's the defendant. That's why she's in here. Why would you want to murder that lady, though? I don't really see a connection. Are you alright? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flustered. Oh my! It's just that... You look so gallant and dashing. Sorry? And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me feel rather bashful. Okay. Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. It would seem our little plans for this trial is going to work. Oh, what do you mean, Professor Mikotobak? Even if your best friend can see through the disguise, I think we can relax. Disguise? Yes. Oh, yes. I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father. A father? Oh, so they're best friends. I guess that's why. Technically, the person I play as now is literally just the consultant for the lawyer. But apparently, or juridical assistant, I think they called it. But I guess they are fiddling around. I don't really know why. Is that you, Susato? Can you please see how I look? I kind of want to see how I... Oh, wait, technically, we can actually see how I look whenever we go into trial. No, what are you doing? What are you going on? What? That was a lot of what. I was about to say a sentence, but just continue with what. That wears the uniform. That wears the cap. That wears the cape. That wears the badge. Jesus. Look at you. You look for all the world just like a student of the Imperial Yuma University, a male student. Is it... I am guessing... Oh. Oh. I do love, though, that... I do love, though, that I actually got that. So... I'm gonna do this. Oop, what the... There we go. That was a long time ago I actually got one of those. Not that I actually care of actually buying any followers. Because I do have 300 followers. I'm not a person really that fully celebrates that. I can fully celebrate now and then whenever I know some people and know people have been in that have been following me. For example, many of my teammates have been in here and there now and then. But like, when I started out, there was a lot of like follows for follows and stuff like that. So, like, I would say half of my follow count is like empty follows. Perhaps a bit more than that. So, like, I'm not even gonna buy followers because that doesn't do anything. I stream for fun, and if I manage to grow as a streamer, I grow as a streamer. I would like to grow as a streamer, but I can say that's not really up to me anymore. Because I do whatever I can. It's more for the people that enjoys my little, I don't know, my little show, my little entertainment to decide. There we go. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke up at 4 this morning to make a start. Jesus. But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that? Well, you see... It was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take you on your defense this trial. My defense? So I'm guessing it's like the whole thing, like she cannot be in there. Like as any she is not supposed to be in there to defend. Court in Japan, yeah, barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. So I was right. Because sure, if you would like, I don't know, disguise yourself to someone else just because he was supposed to be there and you want to do something or whatever, then I understand. But like, could also understand. But this is more relevant. Of course it is, if we say so. But women are forbidden. Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so I can act as your lawyer. I really want her now to have a fake mustache. Oh, Susato, you'd go such a length for me? Of course. Of course, you're my greatest friend. I was about to just lose my voice there. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve. Hold on, I'm just gonna... I had an extra pillow, but it wasn't really comfortable. Oh, no. I have a complete faith in you. It's so strange, though. I mean, you're such an accomplished juridical assistant already. And yet just because you're a woman, a wretched reason. I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're such a gallant dashing... Oh, she's still... That also explains why she's more or less just bashing in front of her. Please don't look at me like that, with those flushed cheeks and dotting eyes. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just... You really look so dashing. Yes, you mentioned that once or twice. You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man. I am pleased. I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Sometimes I don't know how to sit. Like, I can sometimes play with, like, one hand. So I just love to have my hand on my rest and, like, my elbow to, like, 90 degree stuff. I don't know why. Sometimes I don't know how to sit in my own chair. I might be so, like, so small and skinny. Like, my arms doesn't really rest well in these. I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna try something. Nope, that doesn't work either. I have no idea. Yeah, she still is a bit worried about what's going on. Susato, you do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder? Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right? Yes, it is. Perfectly clean. Squeaky clean. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand by your side until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that to me is the different. Yeah. I really don't want to do the voice for even like thoughts, because the thoughts is more or less the personal thing that only is for one person. And doing it with the voice is just gonna be so much work. That means so much for me. For me, something. Defendant, counsel. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. And sometimes I must just have to improvise for some people. I should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you're guilty. She just bolted out the door. Jesus. Anything that stands in the way is just gonna be bombarded. That's what you call an artillery. Oh, I couldn't resist. Well, Susati, you're clearly surprised you fought. Doesn't those two hear what they're talking about, by the way? Going to such length to be admitted into courtroom. And with no prior experience of being a lawyer. There's simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this. Yes, quite right. I kept that information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. I don't want to burden her with that. And is it true? Is it true that the reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case, is it really because of who the victim was? We should be making a move now, too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student. Thank you, Father. Okay, let's go into the first trial here. Let's go! I'm Susato Mikotobak, a juridical assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. So, the last game ended 2 months ago. Okay. They said 8... Did they say 8 months ago? Hold on. Yeah, 8 months ago. Our first... So that means that the travel took 4 months. Because 2 months ago, she didn't go back. No, she got back 2 months. Okay, I'm getting a bit confused here. Because she got back 2 months ago. I only know it's like 50 days that it took for, I believe, to get to Great Britain. But I know that the day after we arrived, we had to go to court. And the last trial we had was connected to that, and that was 2 months after. I don't know. So I would say... So if you had to take away 4 with 2 months... and 2 more months to being here and being there, then we have 4 more months. I would say 2 months to travel. 2 months to travel. Oh, now he also has the costume, because I did do that. Still, I have no choice now but to steel myself for this trial ahead. So that's technically the person I'm supposed to play as, but he's back in England. Wish me luck, Naruto-san. But I do love these games. I do hope they make remakes for all the other ones as well. Because these two are made in either in between, or one is in between and one is after the 2 3DS games, which is Dual Destinies, and the second one is Spirit of Justice. So I don't know if both is between those two or if one is after, but I really want those two to come to remakes as well, because I do love those. Oh, there we have him. I think he had a name that more or less meant something by samurai or something. I don't really remember. This court is now in... Oh, thank you, Yokopokomo, for the snipe. This court is now in session to hear the trial of Ray Membami. I just love that face, though. The prosecution is fully ready to proceed, Your Honor. I have forgotten that I actually made that his voice. Also, I really want to do something here. Hold on. Because she is technically supposed to look... Oh. Oh, look at that. I actually have... Both of these games have the same state plate. Ah. Okay, so I'm actually gonna do something. I'm gonna go back to the title. No, wait. Can I do that here? No. I'm gonna go back to the title. Because... she's technically supposed to be looking like a man right now. She's going to look masculine because women are not supposed to be in there. So I am curious how she actually looks, because that is just her costume that I actually fit on her. There we go, Taylor. So many of these games literally just have one source. We have like this one, but I don't know, I didn't really like that one. So that's how she's this is how she originally looks. I'm gonna keep this though. Oh, we have some short stories. I'm gonna do that some other time. Or by myself. I don't know. Whoopa! Whoopass. Okay, how does it... Okay, yeah, sure. I will be much better with a little mustache there. But at the same time, I think they're like... at least 16, 17. Just a few straws, perhaps. I don't know. Defense Counsel, are you ready? Yes, Your Excellency, we are. We are ready. Oh, ready. Ah, yes, Counsel. According to your registration detail, your name is... Ryataru Naruto. Is that correct? That's the name of the main person. Sorry? Yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. So I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind. Well, Counsel. Yes, that's right. That's me. I mean... Yes, I'm Ryutaro. Is that even his name? Because I'm pretty sure that I can more or less pronounce his name now. But that's very strange. I know I at least learned what Naruto means. He was voted to uphold the pride of the great Naruto clan. It seems Ryutaro. Ryutaro. Jesus. May need to consider how better to uphold his manly act first and not overdo it. And those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen. Naruhodo? A fresh face in this court, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruhodo? Would that perchance be? You may be thinking of Ryunosuke. That's the name I can actually pronounce. Naruto, currently in Britain as part of the study program. This is... his cousin. That's right. Ryutaro here has been studying in the province, but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matter of laws, his knowledge is knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's pre-eminent lawyers. Any of them? Jesus, she's so bloody nervous. She's absolutely just nervous. Sorry, but that's my OneDrive. Just say I'm not logged in. Like I give a damn. Also, I just realized how low the game volume was. You do actually hear the game, right? Why is it so low? Hold on, I'm gonna check something. I just realized how bloody low it was. I'm gonna see if there's something wrong here. Oh. Found it. Sorry if I just shattered your eardrums. I was so fucking cute, like, I just realized the sound was so low. I do love that there are sometimes people there, but no one absolutely warns me about that. Because the problem is I hear everything as it more or less should be, or I have this thing in different modes because of the streams I have been watching. So I have no idea what you people hear sometimes. Oh goodness sake, I just like, why is it so low? So apparently I have been watching streams and played something in the background, which caused me to turn down the volume of this software. And it's this software that the music actually comes from. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy. How dare you? Susato is very bit as gallant as dashing as any of your Tokyo attorneys. I won't have you making fun of her. Her? Oh, what an unrefined tomboy we have here. What I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eye are very much suggesting that he is not. It's more or less has the same eyes as the person I other played as, Ryunosuke. Like it or not, eyes are wont to flit. Is that a sentence I'm supposed to understand? Eyes are wont to flit. I think that sentence broke my brain. The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our nation's interests. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very fortune of our empire. Just like the trial 9 months ago. And yet, for proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dock. Dear me. Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense. To determine whether they are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom. 9 months ago, when a certain other Naruto stood where you standing now. Yeah, my television turned off. This same judge tested him as well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not enough law, he passed the test with flying colors. For a trained and experienced juridical assistant like you, this would be easy. So, counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions? Oh, the cape is gone. Well, the fish lip doesn't happen there, but she does the same thing. Yes, Your Excellency. Please to make them simple. Very well. To start with, you will state the name of the victim. That's simple. Oh, hold on. Who is the victim? Shit, I don't have any court record. What's the matter? Well, standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruto-san goes through. Like it or not, minds are... want to blank. They must more or less mean... It's like turn blank or something, I have no idea. It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in the position. And in that geese. Guys, I mean, I think. I don't know, actually. Even a bright spark like you in bounds to flicker and falter a little under the circumstances. Oh there, this is a dismal failure. Don't fret. You need only to use knowledge you gained as juridical assistant to overcome the problem. Oh, of course, the court records. Yeah, I was about to do that, but I don't. My button doesn't work. It's broken. That's right. Just use the R button to... Yes. Yeah, I know about this. Don't worry. I'm not just gonna skip this. But it's the same goddamn lady. But this time she's dead instead. I don't really would have wanted her killed. Wait, did we understand why she wanted the person in the first game killed? I just realized something. Wasn't G.H. Wilson in the telegram in the last game? But he was here, and he was dead in the first game, because we had to actually defend ourselves from his murder. Does that telegram have something to do with why he died? And for some reason, why he died is the telegram, and that's why she's dead now? I do love that it's a secret telegram to the Japan about him and something, and someone wants him dead because of that, and it more or less causes such a scandal that a British woman killed a British man, and they do not wish her to be caught because it's British. Hold on. I don't know her name because I actually never known her name. Yeah, we actually did learn her name now when I remember it. Jesselit Brett.
Yes!
And of course I had... Oh. Wouldn't surprise me that that person is online. I think I've added 2 persons randomly from games I've been playing. I'm pretty certain that guy has been like on constantly for 3 days with just YouTube. I have no idea what's going on there. The name of the victim who lost her life in the case is Miss Jessalyn Brett. Jessalyn Brett. A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure. Correct. Oh, God. I don't know what happened with my voice there. Correct. And being a member of our empire's judiciary, you will be aware of the significance of that name. Yeah, I understand. I know why. So, let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Barrett has been visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why, then, is her name incredibly associated with our own empire's judicial system? I won't say juridical for some reason. Obviously, you won't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago. But it is proving hard to recall the finer point. I know exactly why. I still remember that. Yeah, that was the start of everything. Jessalyn Brett. Behind the woman student person was the face of Queen Victoria. That would be absolutely brilliant. Oh, she didn't do a fish slap. Is she actually gonna have a fish slap? Like when she does it to the face, it's fish lips. But she doesn't have the fish lips. And when it does to the table, it's like fish slap. 9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University was killed. And the culprit was Jesselit Brett. Yes, that was a killer. She was a killer. And that's Iris' father. We haven't actually told her yet. At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain. And it was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation that the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. J.H. Wilson, was shot dead. I believe it was associate of yours, Persephone. Oh god, that's why I don't do when I don't say which name. Because technically he spoke first and then someone else apparently took over. I have to really stop doing that. Yes, I was in debt to the man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was a matter government wished to resolve rapidly. Indeed it was, which is why a secret trial was conducted here at Supreme Court. Yeah, because everyone pointed fingers at this guy. A student of Imperial Yume University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryonosuke Naruto. With the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense and exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Jessa Libret. I really want the other ones to be remade as well. Shit, I know I've said it a lot, but I really want that because I love streaming these games. Miss Brett was eventually admitted to a crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion. And I guess that has to do with the whole telegram thing, because it was literally our names and Professor Wilson as well and stuff. No, wait, not our names, I think. Was there our names? I don't remember whose name. I know Wilson's name. I believe it was... I believe it might have been... the friend's name. I have forgotten his name. Kazuma-sama, I think it was. Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our empire's laws. It was decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China instead. Why Shanghai? There's a British consular court there. Correct. I oversaw the negotiation personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last week. All that remained of our empire's obligations was to see the woman safely on board a steamship. Last week? The trial was 9 months ago. Jesus. Politics. And yet, the very day before her departure, the English woman was killed. Only the day before? That will do. I am satisfied that the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defense. Oh. Thank you, Your Excellency. Well, over the first, yeah? Now a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Auchi. As you wish, Your Excellency. A repugnant crime took place on the 11th August in broad daylight. Ooh. Nice little beach here. On the outskirts of Imperial Capital under a bright blue sky and a scheduled bathing spot by the sea. Oh, no, secluded, not scheduled. What the fuck? Secluded bathing spot by the sea.
The incident occurred inside a small beach hut erected for the bathers to rest or change their clothes. The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung, an injury which proved fatal.
Why does it look like she has a smile on her face?
There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Breath, in her bathing attire, and the accused Ray Membami.
Why is Miss Brett in bathing attire like very significant for you? Because it literally just says accused Ray Membami. Like, she doesn't look that bad either.
Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused guilt. Accused guilt.
Yeah, I was about to say guilty. I'm like, wait, what? That's not true. That's not the right word.
Especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady.
Motive? I don't know why, but just because he's imagining Miss Brett in bathing attire and stuff like that. From my point of perspective, it feels like his point of motive is that she looked better than the defendant. I'm like, okay, is that a motive? Well, what is the motive? Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost of words, I must say.
That certainly is true. The prosecution summary was full of words that raise an awful lot of questions.
I technically said I wouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do voices anyway for this.
As a lawyer, I really ought to pick the prosecution counsel on what he said about
Motive, because he never mentioned the motive.
I'm clearly exaggerating. A powerful motive is a blatant overstatement. Is the yokel boy using long words for the he doesn't fully understand? I beg your pardon? No matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Membami-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial Yume University, I believe? Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikatobak in his laboratory at the moment.
I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility.
Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikatobak, whose research were you assisting then? Hi, Turtle Girl. Welcome to the stream.
Okay, I'm gonna explain. You haven't missed much. I'm fine. I've been chilling a bit today. Been trying to do some schoolwork, but we haven't really started with the classes yet, and I don't know if we're gonna learn the specific stuff in classes. So I have tried to figure out how to import 3D objects in a DirectX 11 software, which is not really the easiest. We thought of there's like 1,000 different ways of doing it, and I need one half specific one. Because everyone is like, yeah, just to use... Yeah, ouch is back. I think you must have heard that in the voice. And like, I'm using... Many people just use vectors and add mesh and add vectors and stuff. I literally have like some sort of vertice buffer, which like saves all the vectors and stuff, or the vertices, and then sends them out into the software. And so I cannot really fully do that. I have to somehow save everything in a goddamn array and stuff. So I am just trying to find out if I can still have the same software, or if it's literally like, yeah, you have to reset everything, because holy shit. So yeah, you haven't missed much. This is a friend of Sasuto. That is apparently accused of murder Miss Brett. If you don't remember her, she is the murderer from the first game. The first trial in the first game. So that's the woman with a big swan hat. Yes, this is also 2 months after Susato came back here as well. So it's 2 months after the first game. So unfortunately, no one wants to take her case because of the whole British Empire and all the goddamn diplomacy and stuff like that. So Susato is right now dressed as a man trying to defend her because no woman is supposed to be in court. So you have technically not missed much more than that, other than just explaining what happened last times and stuff like that.
I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson.
Dr. Wilson, the visiting English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago. So that's the motive, he said. The problem is, like, when he said before who was in the bathing hut, because there was like a hut by a secluded bathing place, he literally said Miss Brett in her swimming attire and Miss... Hold on, what's her name? And Miss Membami. And he never mentioned... No, friend. This is her friend. And this is just Jessalit Brett. This is her friend. And, well, so we thought of not mentioning her bathing attire. It more or less felt like his point of motive was literally just she looks better than she does. But that more or less makes more of a motive, actually.
The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true? Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man. Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the English woman who killed you. Who killed him, not you.
My words today are not really the best. Hold on, I'm just gonna check what my phone wanted to tell me about. If it actually allow me. Just gonna check his. Oh. I might just have that in the background. We thought of what she does in the background. Also, welcome, humble viewer, to the stream I'm holding. Hold on, I'm just gonna do something here. Just because. I don't know. I'm a very like. I don't know, kind person, I would say. I'm just gonna do something for fun here. There we go. I don't think it would kill off too much, but I'm gonna have it here anyway. There we go. Just because I can and I will.
Well, obviously I'm filled with hatred for what she'd done. Powerful hatred. Oh, Ray, be careful what you're saying.
She's not really careful what she's saying because she literally was telling everyone how like brilliant woman I was. Or her. Technically, I am the guy who's still in the British Empire, but yeah.
The motive was revenge, plain and simple, Your Excellency.
Well, was clear, clearly a trap all along.
How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for a mentor against her like that.
Also, we are more or less masquerade as Naruhodo's cousin, that is. Ryutaro Naruhodo. Well, I guess we have to check a bit more. I don't know what's going on over there. I'm just gonna see if I can like... There we go. I can have that like that, just for fun. Whoops. There we go. Oh wait, if I can do that then. Nope. If I do that. Nope. If I do this. Nope. If I do that. There we go. Okay, so... let's... the bathing spot. That's always interesting to know the bathing spot.
If I may, Prosecutor Ouchie. What do you want, you fresh-faced young yokel student? I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot. Ah, my apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused the poor country bumpkin's simple mind. Bathing spots are the very latest trends in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skins. No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purpose, be found guilty of murder. Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
It's like...
For old time's sake, I believe. Sorry? Miss Brett was to depart to Shanghai the following day. Her final wish was, as it were, was to enjoy a day at our country's wonderful coast. And the British Embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply.
So, I do wonder if she's dead. Like, that's the thing. He mentioned before also that she never told the reason why she killed Mr. Wilson. But we know from the fact of the last game that it was a telegram to Japan about something with our friend, which I always forget the name of, and Dr. Wilson. And I think that might be why, for some reason.
But what grounds would we agree to such a request?
Because, as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the victims of a known criminal.
But don't look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I.
To be honest, you have kissed so much like foreign feet before, so I wouldn't surprise me if you actually did.
But in fact, a murder took place. I said do not look at me. It was a young student girl who did not I. No one has proven that yet.
I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't... I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to.
At this stage...
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I went to that voice.
At this stage, I need to gather more information, I think.
Oh, also, I completely forgot about this. Because I was working before. I did thank through Dariel's chat because I was chatting with them yesterday. But thank you, Eren Jäger, for actually following, and also thank you, Ashes Slayer, for following. I don't know if you're still here. I know you were here before. I know I have thanked them through their channel, but I also have to thank them through my own channel as well. Especially now I'm here. Okay, so bathing together. Why were we bathing together?
Membami-san. Yes, what is this? I mean...
Eren Jäger. Yep. I think I spoke a bit with Ashes Slayer yesterday a bit, because Daryl was in the just common chat of his Discord channel. We just chatted a little bit. Eren Jäger, I don't know if there was a new one on Daryl's channel or not. I'm more used to who is common on my channel here than other people's channels. Even though I am on other people's channels very often. Most because I do enjoy being there. They are great people. Most of the times I spend with other people from like the team, I would say is Miss Valkyrie and Dariel. Outside of the team is Miss Yoko Pokomo, or Poke the Joko, as I want to say. Or something that Dariel says that I cannot even say. It's like, I don't know, it's at least a 20-letter name or something.
And why were you alone with her? Oh, well, no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all. There was other people present. A detective who was guarding Miss Brett for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion, that's all. But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with a victim in the hut. You and no one else. The truth is, there is only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett on her bathing sojourn. Sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life.
I do love it. Each time I get this person and stuff, I always get this like, yeah voice.
No. Because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities. And the accused would never have the opportunity to dispatch her again. Kindly refrain from conjecture, Counsel.
I believe we all have a clear picture of the incident now. Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research work at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on many number of occasions. Yeah, so why is it so obvious that she wants to kill her now? Also, it's kind of interesting that, like, how, like, Japan is represented in this game, like, Jesus. Like, for example, if anyone, for example, here in British, for example, her, she got free even though she was guilty. Because they are, like, too afraid to do anything. But in Britain, oh yeah, this Japanese person had killed someone. If he is actually found guilty, he's gonna be hanged. Like, hey, Jesus, take a chill pill, won't you? So yeah, that I do love the difference of that. Holy crap. Yes, even it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can only blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment.
Poor Ray. So, Your Excellency, you should be so kind to pursue this exhibit. A photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim incident.
That must be absolutely... Okay, I really kind of hate this. Because it's literally... I have a one last wish. I wish to go to the ocean and take a bit of a bath. Okay. Secluded bathing spot in a little bathing hut. What is it there in there? It is her dress, her bag. She has a bag. She has a little suitcase. She has a table with fucking wine. And like, yeah, this is not a criminal thing. It's like the goddamn British government just thanked her for what she did. Like, what the fuck? Also, the worst part is that if you actually saw the cutscene before and some other, like, directions, it more or less looks like she's smiling, actually. Not now, but, like, I kind of looked like she did that. Like a small smile, like, haha, I have gotten someone now.
As you can clearly see, there is nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden.
Do you want to talk about the goddamn dress again and how she actually hid the gun underneath the dress last time? The court will accept this photographic print as evidence.
The photograph of the crime scene has been...
Why the fuck did they do his voice for that? As I understand, then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant. I wish to point the finger of my guilt up your nose and then drag you down.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution has much more to its case.
Then show it.
We intend to prove they accuse appealing actions beyond all possible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime and damning evidence.
How many people do you believe is gonna still be in their bathing suits?
Witnesses, but who?
I swear, if someone was hidden in the dress, that would be the best thing ever. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective.
Oh, don't tell me it's the guy who's still bleeding.
I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave you no room for doubt.
Like, if he's still coughing blood, though, Jesus. I'm kind of pretty impressed that if it's still that person and he still coughs up blood and it's gone 9 months, holy shit, that guy is resilient to whatever he has.
I Taketsushi Ouchi have been waiting for this moment. Sorry? Oh yes, I haven't forgotten that trial 9 months ago, here in this very courthouse, where that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me.
If you would think that was humiliating. Oh, I thought his hair was much weirder now. Because I was wondering about that hair bun. Like, where was the hair bun attached to somewhere? But it literally kind of lost a lot of hair, so it just has this little, I don't know, bun. And also, welcome, humble viewer, to the stream I'm holding. Also, yes, that's the costume that I have. I have a costume for her as well, but I took it away because I wanted to see how her man costume looked. So I'm gonna keep that for now. I'm gonna change it later. Mr. Herlock Sholmes also has one. But I think that looks kind of ridiculous. Yeah, he has a little bun. So, how would this guy feel if he got humiliated by a woman? Technically, I don't think even we can show that afterwards. I would say that if this was real life, she would be executed after this. Mostly because, I'm pretty certain at least.
Sort of for my own mini Meiji revolution. Are you mothersning as well, Council? Silence! I swore revenge back then. There was been a minor miracle atop my head. Observe the ouchy growth.
Could you not call that an ouchy growth, please? That sounds so bad.
You see the seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren expanse of my crown.
I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something. I think it's trying to tell me something. It's alive. It has a life of its own.
I'm afraid I can't really see. Where? Where is the hope exactly? I said silence! Today I face another yokel student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you, and my victory will be fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned.
Jesus, he is talking so much shit right now. It looks like the stakes are high on both sides in this trial. Especially for his head. The prosecution and the defense each has much to lose.
A haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life.
Somehow I feel my voice is kind of stuck on his whenever I do his. I did say bathing suit. I was absolutely right, and I do love the turtle on the head. Did you see that, turtle girl? He has a turtle on the head. That's adorable. He has a... Hold on, can you not just... Yeah! I was about to say, can you not, like, bend over or something? But, yeah. Turtle on the head. Chief Inspector Satoru Osunaga. Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected. Disguise as what? Bathing companion? Hello! Well, next big thing in books. An author renowned through the capital, in fact, yes. I'm pretty certain that guy is not even from Japan. Oh my goodness. Soseki is back! A struggling student from the provinces, please. You needn't be ahead of me. I needn't? It's only natural you'd feel nervous in my presence. But all of you, please relax. Call me Soseki. Even.
Yes. What on earth is Soseki-san doing here?
Interesting. So he got from absolutely a nerve wreck to a big author. That's cool. Tread carefully, Susato. That author fella knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun.
Yes, of course, I know. I presume Soseki-san won't have forgotten about me. I certainly never forgot him.
Yeah, he isn't as nervous, it seems. That's amazing outfit, is hard to believe. Yeah, it's literally just a bathing suit. Do I have something on my face?
Oh, your glasses for one.
I suppose it's this disguise, isn't it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make more of a faithful testimony. I just love the turtle on the head that bobs each time he bobs his head. I love it. I absolutely freaking love it. It is my guided principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly. You mean Osunaga? Of course is always formal, doesn't matter what he wears or what he does. But what business did a writer such as yourself have being at a crime scene, Miss Soseki-san? Well, I have some trash apparently by my cushion here. We're just gonna see if we can... Wait, you didn't notice... Didn't you notice the turtle? What didn't you notice? This guy or the turtle? I'm curious now because I've talked about the turtle like 3 times now. Because this guy, yes, I more or less just mentioned him once, and that's the guy from the last game. I have been asked today to give a lecture on the morning of the incident, Imperial Yume University Grand Lecture Hall, no less. I kind of forgot his voice though. I'm just trying to find it.
At Yume University?
After the lecture, I had been a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. The professor over there, in fact.
With Professor Mikotobak?
Yeah, now you did notice the turtle. I do love, I mentioned the turtle on his head so many times, I just can see it popping up. Okay. I literally just said that he's here in a bathing suit and just noticed a big turtle on the head that bobs each time he bobs his head. Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leaves me alone. Yeah, but that's not like a Japanese person. I believe that's a British press. That's probably why the armband on the arm. I do have an armband. I'm gonna put on my armband. Oh, there it is. I got an armband from one of the loot crates a long time ago, but I got this like Zelda armband and kind of loved it. Has a Legend of Zelda crest on it. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read it as you leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies.
Thank you very much. You practically threw that paper at me. You didn't even make it up airplane. How sad.
Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words. As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued work in my laboratory under strict surveillance, of course.
At which utterance the university immediately contracted the government to seek guidance. And the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her.
The detective I am liberty of divulge was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. And I was a bubblehead turtle.
Whereby the entire party departed accordingly for the seaside, it seems.
It was extremely challenging to clear all the members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. Wait for it. Oh, I have to press. But unfortunately, I am at a peak. Fortunately, I am peak physical fitness at the moment, so. It's still coughing blood. This guy. You have been alive for 9 months with coughing blood. I am impressed though. I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly.
Oh my inspector, well, you do have something on your face now.
How unsightly, I do apologize.
Does that mean that you went to the beach too, Father?
No, unfortunately I had work to finish off. And unfortunately, of course, it meant that as my assistant Ray was invited to take my place. Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. Also, I'm gonna check the newspaper while I still have it.
Wait, that's the cat.
Then, what's the cat we have that is at Sholmes? Also, that's an adorable cat. Cat. Oh, hold on. Cat. Cat eye. Cat face. I don't know if there's anything interesting here, other than him almost like karate punches his throat, it looks like. Oh, but if I only had, I would never have seen that awful sight. Very well, I must ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast. Of course, Your Excellency. Relentlessly racked by the remorse and regret I am. Apparently he doesn't want to. There we go. On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in disguise. I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me. I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question. Yes, that young girl was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand as she stabbed wildly. Well, stabbed wildly? Hold on. Okay, I think I already found something there. post-mortem. External witness statement. Single steep stab wound found from behind. Already found something. I saw blood on the table. It provided to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times. Oh. Well, that was simple. Indeed, it appears that this testimony had that both witnesses here presented saw it. The very moment of this heinous crime.
What? Now, if you recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? Ah, yes, it was damning evidence.
What have you there, Counsel? A so-called fountain pen, is it? Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene while examining the body. It appeared that in her dying moment, with her final ounce of strength, the victim clutched a piece of evidence that would possibly identify her killer.
What? Your Excellency, if you could cast your eyes over the photographic print of the crime scene once more.
Oh, goodness me. Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately in her hand. That's right, the fountain. And if you will kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency. The owner's initial has been engraved in the ebonite barrel. R.M. Ray Mambami. Initials of the defendant. This fountain pen will be admitted immediately as critical evidence. Thank you. I'm gonna examine this pen. I'm gonna examine it to my heart's content. I cannot bug up. So, have I omitted anything? Decisive testimony, a damning evidence. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel. Counsel of the defense, you may begin your cross-examination. Is she also gonna look like hopelessly? Because she does have the whole, like, wild eye kind of stare. But I don't know if she's gonna have that whole, like, shrunken up kind of style. No, she's gonna be like that whenever she's been, like, damaged, if you say so. Is there not other Naruto in my courtroom? Actually, there isn't even a single Naruto in your courtroom. Cousin Ryuturo, pull yourself together, please. I do love it, like, everything. I know exactly what I'm gonna press here. Okay, so I literally just gonna go to the thing there. Because I know what we're gonna do. I just love the turtle. Why does he have a turtle on top of his head? I do love it, but why? Oh, blade. Why did I read that as table? How did I manage to read that as table?
Objection!
With that accusatory cry that welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruto-san stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed. What the meaning of that menacing pose, Counsel? I'd like the witness to clarify something for me.
Who? What? Where? When? How?
No, not you, Soseki-san. The query is directed at Inspector Honosaka.
At me?
In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yes, that's right. As I said when I entered the hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim with a bloody knife in hand, like a murderous demon.
And yet, that cannot be.
What? Get to the point, please, Counsel.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only. In other words, Inspector Honosaka's testimony is clearly flawed. And Soseki-san,
Me?
you claim to have seen Membami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes, I did. Wildly.
But both of you and the inspector confirmed the same point. That there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding.
Yes,
It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred.
True. Then what exactly is your contention, Counsel? Are you even going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. That Soseki-san in fact was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all. But the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
That can't. Excellent work, Susato. You exploded at them with that objection. And then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
Well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in that trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection, attempting to steal the show.
You're right, there was a certain similarities. Expect that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who has only half a head of hair.
Slander! My head is quite decadently dressed. In any case, this talk of stabbing and withdrawing multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference. What? Why not? Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged a deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was that moment just that she had withdrew the blade ready for the next strike that the witness saw. The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused has already stabbed the victim. All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustache author is prone to moments of extravagance.
I am in agreement with the prosecution. If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is a significant grounds for actions to be weird. Oh my god.
But if she was withdrawing the blade, then we are back where we started. Sorry? Oh, sorry? Consider this young yokel boy. If the student girl is innocent as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim And with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation. And it had better be a good one. Why did Ray pull out the knife?
Ah, yes. Going for the jugular.
What does father mean by that?
Let the court hear your answer, counsel. Yeah, what is the plausible reason? I would want to say save her life, but it punctured a lung. And also I'm pretty certain it's like better to leave it in until someone actually... Yeah, well, technically she is a medical student. Yo, she's actually a medical student.
According to the post-mortem, the victim's death was not instant.
That is correct. Through the thought she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury.
Indeed, giving her the time to take a hold of this piece of evidence and clearly indicates her killer. The point is, being a medical research assistant, Membami-san was compelled to act when faced with a wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem that this is the best we can expect of this young yokel.
Indeed. I thought it was a pretty good one. Your Excellency, if I may. But at the same time, a punctured lung, so probably not something they could do. I would like another opportunity to testify. In respect of the slip hood assertion just put forward by the Yokel Defense Council.
Slip hood? An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matter of medicine, he appears to possess not one iota of common sense.
Very well, Inspector. I will permit your request. You will testify again before the court on the subject of Defense Counsel assertion. Yes, sir. I will do so flawlessly. Holy shit, 1 hour and 20 minutes already? Holy crap. You more or less probably would realize by now that I really do love streaming and I really do love these games. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant would an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there is no good reason why that... Sorry, I get so burpy by, like, Coke here. Jesus. We call it Coca-Cola. So it's a bit difficult for me to say cola or something, because it, like, you call it, like, Americans call it Coke. So it's like difficult for me to more or less pronounce what it's even called. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was a defendant's highly respected mentor.
Okay. Is that true, Inspector? Could pulling a knife out from a wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily?
Technically, I knew that, so that's why I technically didn't want to take that answer. But with thought of her being a medical assistant, I thought that why not? Because she could probably try to do something. Yes, think of the weapon itself as a stopper in the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide a proper treatment, that stopper wouldn't be removed.
Oh, I see. This is why yokels that stay at the farm. Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge. Anyone who's ever given some little poke with a knife and pull it out again knows it. Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see, or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Father, is it true, what you're telling me?
Yes, it's basic medical knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If you were to claim ignorance of such a fundamental, that would prove a fatal in many ways.
But then why would Ray have done it? Could you have pulled out the knife in full knowledge that it would have fatal to Miss Brett?
I do not know.
I never mentioned anything about the knife to me. It seems almost impossible to believe, but... Can my friend actually have...
Susat,
Yes?
pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here. Counsel, it is time for cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issue with establishment fact, I will be moving to my adjudication immediately afterwards.
I understand. Believing your client and fighting for the cause until the bitter end. I knew it would be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard.
Okay, I'm gonna press everything because I don't really have much other.
You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean if you use due care and attention, would it be alright? It would be alright.
I wouldn't have thought this needed to spelling out really, but the blade is like a stopper for the wound. Removing it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would never be present before any attempt was made with the raw blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it.
Oh well, thank you for such a thorough explanation. You see, Counsel, when you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Back to the witness testimony, please.
Hold it!
I don't know if I have anything else. I'm gonna press for safety reason. I haven't found anything specific.
In that case, there is an obvious explanation here.
Which is?
Clearly, the defendant, Ray Manbanima, does not possess an ounce of sense.
What do you think about that, Professor Miku Tobak? I'm not sure you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense.
Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer. I love young people these days. If that friendship, I don't understand it.
Careful, Counsel. A lack of sense may very well be a dangerous thing.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that went fast. That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn. Hopefully, as you can see now, that this is a really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Mambani-san would certainly have been aware of. I don't think there's like anything on the photo that would help in any way.
Hold it!
If I don't find anything now, I'm gonna check the evidence for the second run and see if I have anything.
But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently.
I certainly don't think inadvertent action can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally.
Oh, but irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it?
Oh dear. You have a lot to learn about women. Only a small-minded man could have such bogged views.
Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my male persona take hold of a little too much.
Perhaps. Perhaps. You started to more or less feel the testosterone. Just a little tiny bit too much.
Hold it!
Whatever the motive, it just isn't Manbami-san. It's nature to do something so awful.
But you had both motive and an opportunity. That's a very hard to argue against.
But you don't know that, the defendant. And you, counsel, do not appear to know the law.
Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings.
With this fledgling to the defender, I would almost say I pity the accused.
Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defender's motive, please. Ah, yes. Miss Brett was in many ways a sworn enemy of Manbami-san.
Hold it!
Oh, get the knack again.
Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Mabane-san's talent and offered her position of assistant despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him.
Yes. The Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual. Dr. Wilson has had no time for outdated traditions. He met with opportunities of oppositions, of course, but he believed firmly in Manbami-san's abilities. Oh god. Oh. Clearly the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point. Okay.
This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew what was that withdrawing the knife from the wound would be threatened Miss Breath's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Susato, it's at a time like this when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals.
The fundamentals?
Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it?
Yeah, I know evidence counts. I just thought there might be some weird stuff back there, but perhaps not.
You don't needn't take the evidence at a face value. You can examine and... Oh, okay, so now it tells me to examine shit. Or at least examine some of it. I know what to do. There we go. So I'm guessing it tells me to check the pen. Also, I do love they have said the knife, but we do not have the murder weapon in here. Okay, there we go. So apparently I had to just like not find anything. Because now I can examine this thing.
If we take up the pen's lid... There's some sort of emblem here, look. But it isn't a Yume University one.
It must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. Do you know what's funny? I have actually seen that not long ago. I was talking about a goddamn R-band, if you remember. That's not... I know exact how weird it would be if he actually is the murderer. Just walking around here taking photos of the guy, and it's like, you back there with the camera, you bloody did this. Like, oh, fuck. I probably should have been in here this time. But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't in fact belong to Ray. Okay, cool, we found that. Can we screw this open?
Now let us unscrew the barrel, shall we? This must be a little reservoir that holds ink.
Yes, you fill by drawing in from a bottle up through the nib.
Is something wrong, Father?
It's just that there does not actually appear to be any ink in there at all.
Oh yes, you're right. It's perfectly empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
Wait, so am I supposed to like choose one of these? Hold on, I'm gonna press this again and see if it changes again. Or if it just adds. No, it doesn't. Okay. Okay, it seems to be... I seem to have done that. Also, I'm gonna check if I can check other stuff as well. There we go.
This is a new paper from Soseki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. Father, isn't that your lab?
What? Let me see that. Poison been stolen?
It was this morning's paper that Soseki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as that is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I've not heard of any such a thing. Where on earth could a reporter have gleaned this information? I don't know why I tried to laugh in goddamn Sandstorm. It's a highly toxic poison we have been working on a strict confidence. I put Ray in charge of the project.
Ray! She was managing it.
What's written here is true. It means that she tried to hide the theft from me. Moreover, the details were leaked somehow. It's not just leaked. If that's the newspaper, that means that the guy is absolutely odd.
Raskus England returns. Tell all this is their interview with you and Soseki-san, isn't it, Father? It looks like though it was quite an exchange.
Yes. He became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck. Yeah, exactly what was said before.
I do hope you weren't hurt.
There's nothing interesting here. Okay, can we like examine this? That almost looks like a vial, doesn't it? Okay, there doesn't seem to be much here. Okay, yeah, that basic knowledge that any medical research system would honestly see through. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget the young student did have a motive killing the victim. The murdered 9 months ago. Dr. Wilson was a friend and highly respected mentor. There's no good reason. I would say this.
Objection!
Okay, good. Because they literally asked, there's no big reason, but I guess there might be because of the poison.
No, there is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound.
What?
The yokel not only has a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser. Tell us then, what possibility do you think you have identified? It's here, in the newspaper article. It's an article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at Imperial Human...
Objection!
The victims perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case. But...
Prosecutor Ouchie. We'll let the defendant speak.
But a newspaper article. The court cannot rely on the kind of heresy those wretched publications carry.
Counsel for the defense. I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency? Yes, of course. Thank you. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife out from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says... The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin entered his body on a knife laced with a poison is rapidly absorbed, it caused death in minutes.
Are you suggesting?
If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Mbami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is... It was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body.
Yes, we're going somewhere.
Objection!
Oh, Eren Jaeger, welcome. Sorry, I didn't see that before there. I hope it was a long time ago. But yeah, I'm doing fine. I hope you are doing fine as well. I am playing some The Great Ace Attorney. Just doing a lot of voices, if you have heard me here.
This is a complete and utter nonsense. Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body to accelerate the woman's demise.
Also, I just realized it's so difficult sometimes for me to see the chat sometimes because everyone is pinged. Also, I can actually do this now. Whenever I play a Switch game, I can actually have it on my main screen. I don't know why I actually forgot about that, but now I can actually see the chat there. So now I do not miss anything. That's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, welcome Eren Jaeger. I do hope I actually pronounced it right as well.
The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility. Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document. Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking...
Objection!
Oh please, this is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind.
It literally just gave me the image of a weasel farting. Why would you do that?
Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is all reliable anyway.
In that situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead you claimed that she's suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for a suspicion then, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly, well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it, yokel? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds.
What?
You can't possibly.
From your expression, Counsel, it would appear those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court may demand evidence.
Yes, Your Excellency.
In that case, Counsel, would you present the proof to the court now? What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article? I'm gonna say it because I don't trust myself. I'm a bit uncertain because... So what links it? But the thing is literally... It was stolen from Human University. Even my father, who is responsible for the lab, you knew nothing about the incident. Clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article. Should I just do this one? I'm gonna do this one anyway. Okay, no. Also, the music continues, so it's no. It's a good question. Something similar. I'm kind of at a loss here. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper? I would say this because of like the stream Moses and stuff.
I would ask the court to refer to the no section of the post-mortem report, which reads extreme meiosis, pupil constrictions. Something, I don't know. Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please do tell me. Presumably the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death. Well...
Under normal circumstances, the two pupils are dilated when someone dies. If there was extreme constrictions instead, that's most certainly unusual, yes.
What are you doing, you jokel detective? In the newspaper article, there are following information about the stolen poison. One set of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with acute constriction of the pupil prior to death. What? If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupil of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely.
Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt. I think he's going to lose. Sorry, I'm just gonna scratch my eyeball.
Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you agree this is very compelling evidence. You jokel student of jokel something. Detective, I guess.
I didn't actually click this time. It was literally just him screaming and disappearing. Sorry, but my eye. Nah. Yeah, I believe the defense has extremely demonstrated a credible reason for the defense action.
No.
Eugene Mikotobak. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe you have a best place here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense counsel's argument. Oh. You will tell the court the truth about the detail reported in the newspaper, please. It pains me to have to admit it, but I'm afraid I don't know. You don't know? The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft. Do you mean to tell me that the report of this theft was unfounded? No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Ha, listen to the bumbling academic. Unaware of the theft of a secret state research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper.
I take full responsibility of the incompetence of my supervision.
A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students, rather than allowing them off on killing sprees. That's totally unfounded.
Oh, someone's saying homemeade. I just don't know who. Oh, she is.
None of this is Professor Mikotobak's fault. It's all my fault. Ray?
Membame-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like that will not be tolerated.
But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day.
What?
So you knew. I've been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Saseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
Why did you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the talking had somehow been taken. So I decided to try and get back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was. The thief? You don't mean... Yes, of course. It was that dainty English woman.
Miss Jessie Brett.
That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me, as if she knew she was untouchable. And then she suddenly got to her feet, before falling on her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened, and then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes had shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
I don't believe it. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering from the effect of the stolen poison.
My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips while I've been with her, which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body. And the blade of the knife in her back.
That train of thought was spurred you to withdraw the blade.
Yes, if an amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time.
Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you confessed in the end.
Thank you.
A little, but not much. I guess that guy still has something.
Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, Mbame-san, if that is the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed. Oh, well, you have no answer because simply truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated by revenge.
Objection!
But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you? Oh, I have evidence, and it's very much conclusive.
Why did he hesitate? I do question that, actually. You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Auchi.
Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student. What?
Sorry, the chat is there, so I have to check over here now. A picture, okay.
I'd imagine there would be no need for me to submit this evidence. But you have brought this on yourself.
Where is this camera and why? Hold on. I need to check that later, because I'm gonna check something here.
For it shows the precise moment that Mbame-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either, because it's very interesting. Order! Order, everyone! Counsel for the defense. Was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my courtroom?
Perhaps his voice has yet to break. This joke is so slow of mind and slow of mature.
Well, I would be absolutely very worried if her balls dropped, to be honest. Careful now, Susato is starting to show her face here. It's often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And here we have ample proof. Not really. The court will accept the extremely cogent photographic print as evidence. I do like... I do love those sometimes, how slow people are here. For example, they doesn't think of where the picture was taken. I have no idea if she will get found out, actually. It would be hella funny. But I think I commented that before, that if she was, I would say it probably is like close to goddamn execution. I would say it would be like halfway to Mulan, or even like around Mulan style, I would say so.
I can't believe he had a photographic like that up his sleeve the entire time.
But at the same time, he did hesitate, so I think he knows what's wrong with the picture.
Wait a moment, I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photograph?
Objection!
That's of no importance here. Stop trying to divert attention.
Objection!
No, she is actually true. Like, who is standing with a camera like, I'm gonna picture a murder?
That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony.
Yeah, he thought that would be enough. I will uphold the defendant's demands. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photographic at once. It's gonna be the photograph that's behind here.
Well, I am afraid I can't do that. Pardon? You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday. But there was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna believe shit like that then? Also, I already know who it is. He is here in the courtroom. I guess that's why he followed, because he really wants to make sure everything goes smoothly. Which I would say is a mistake. Personally, I would have just run the other way. While these people are just funding about with every shit here.
Are we to understand then, I want to understand then, Council, that in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph has been murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believed it fit for submissions as evidence in Supreme Court?
When you produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment. Because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
The silence, you jokel student, a blabbering professor.
He started to lose his honor.
What matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses. But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. Clearly, this isn't the moment that the knife was plunged into the victim's back, but the moment it was withdrawn. Don't waste this court time with your ramblings.
Indeed. Without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. The scene, if it decapitates, is without doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe this conclusion is clear. Susato-san, this is the time for you to fight. If you want to establish so far is true, then there can be no doubt. Yeah, that I am aware of. Because if this print is literally where when she pulls it out and she's already more or less dead, then the question is, where is this picture taken from? So from my point of perspective, it would be around here. In a hole. So someone has made a hole to kill someone here. That's all I know.
You have plenty of time to rue your defeat on the slow train back to the Providence. And to rue the day you came up against Taketujuji Auchi in the court of law.
Yeah, I know exactly who took that. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be a way of working out who took it. Well, Counsel.
Your Excellency, the burning question is who do you vote?
I have the answer. And that's the photograph that followed the guy around.
The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal. What? No, you can't possibly. As you boldly claim you can, please do enlighten us. Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name. How utterly underwhelming. Santa Claus gift. Well, I do love that a bot is called Santa Claus gift. But that gift is nothing we do like here. We're gonna return it. Also, it's kinda late of a gift, I would say. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals the important detail about the photographer's identity. What?
Very well, Counsel. Present your proof to the court. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something of the Mr. Photographer?
Take that!
The fountain pen.
The piece of evidence in question is this.
I'm afraid, counsel, that when presenting evidence, you must look. Oh, fuck, I know, no, I know, I know. It didn't struck me before, but I realized that now. So if you look at this, you see the crack. I just realized there are the same cracks here on that picture. Technically, I can actually zoom into this. But as you can see, there are cracks on the picture here as well. Okay. My mistake. I thought it was a good one, but that like emblem doesn't mean much yet. No more squeezing. Squeezing what? This one. What is that? The newspaper again. Crouches England returns. Tell all.
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Excellency. It's the photograph. If you look at it closely, you'll notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side.
Ah, yes, indeed. They all caught my eye, as it appears.
Huh, what of it? A shadow of some kind, presumably. From the branches of a tree or the like.
But there are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph...
Good gracious! Yes.
Yes, exactly the same patterns of lines is presented on the photograph too. Well, that tells us nothing. Yes, it's a shadow of some kind of definitely, or branches of a tree. Jesus, he really loves that. There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach council.
Jesus, he really grasping for straws here, doesn't he? What's quite remarkable about it is that the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have been transpired?
The curious matching patterns that appears on both photographic prints are a result of a camera defect. Obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs. With the photographic evidence?
Yes, we can confirmly say that the camera's lens must be scratched. And that the scratched lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print that's taken by the evidence.
In short, two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera. But there must be 100 of camera's devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one.
Ask the person who actually took the photograph.
I think you're forgetting, Professor Ouchie, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper. In a newspaper article. A newspaper. That's right. The author of this article is the mystery witness to this crime.
Who just said what? What did he even say for something? Oh, he said. Well, I see you were called Rouch's England returnee.
What are you yelling about? You already testified.
It's many memo, I tell you, many memo. Oh, is that his name, Many Memo? I do love it more or less sounds like Many Memo, which he probably takes with thought of being an article writer.
Did you say Many Memo?
Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoujo News has been hounding me, following my every move. A reporter by the name of Written Many Memo.
Written Many Memo. Written Many Memo.
Yes, I love that. I do love that. Yes, hounding me from dawn to dusk. Now that he mentions it. Yes. The many memo. I do love that. I do love that some of these are at least pun names. I haven't really found any proof that everyone is that, but seriously, written many memo. Written many memos. Like, yeah, that's absolutely a pun. A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with written many memo. So you're saying that this picture was taken by Many Memo? Yes, my lord, your excellency, Esquire. Why did it just become Esquire? I wouldn't have noticed that we didn't say it out loud. Yeah, I don't know why, but first it was just like Many Memo for some reason. I thought like, it kinda sounds like that. And when I thought about myself with Many Memo and written, like written many memo, written many memos, like, oh my god. We will adjourn for a short recess at the meantime. Oh, yes, your excellency. As you say, your excellency. And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task, understood? Meh. Oh. Ow. Meh. I just love it made his sound just meh. To be continued. I will still have a half an hour left. I do love how fast these streams sometimes goes. Yeah. Written memo. Love it. Love names like that. Just love it. Oh, it's still a bit burpy though. They're playing some rude company. Are they actually? Is they actually streaming it as well? That wouldn't surprise me if Helheim? Perhaps. I don't know. Wait, how many can you play there? You have 4. Okay. I was just wondering because if I actually still play after I'm done, I kind of want to play if they'll allow that. Who knows? I sometimes play Rogue Company with them just for fun, outside of stream.
I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin.
You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know, as we decided to shoulder the burden alone.
No, that's not it at all. I was just... I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I hope to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? You had no doubt in your mind about my innocence? That you stand by me to the last? I remember. And yet, I didn't deserve your trust in me. I had important detail from Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me.
Do that, because I know you can do that. I want to see that from the other perspective, please.
No, that's not good for me as well. Drive me through the city streets.
I'm pretty certain that actually used to be a punishment, so no thank you.
I'm no better, you know. Oh. Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pull the knife blade from Miss Brett's back. There was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you. I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised I'd stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your faith in me too. As such, I failed you as a lawyer. Oh no.
I think the situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing unbridled faith in another is no easy task.
Yes, Father. My fate certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray. Yes? Can you find in your heart to forgive me?
Yeah, she didn't know it was actually her female friend before. So when she looked at the person I am now, it was like, oh my god, my heart skipped a beat. And when they realized it was the like, okay, well my dream prince was just crushed right now.
The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut listening to what I was saying. And then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. It all happened right before my eyes. And you were only people in the hut at the times. That's right, just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. I just didn't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
A great mystery indeed. Also, it's not really a brick wall, if you ask me.
I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up.
Like, literally, it's not a brick wall. It's just like, eh. And it's through the wall.
It will be alright. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you, I'm going to prove everything you've said that you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Mikotobak. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under closer scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see.
Yes, without this chemical reagent, it is impossible to detect the toxin. I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case.
Just to see what actually has poison. I'm certain the pen has poison. I'm pretty certain the pen has poison. And somehow she managed to grab the pen. I think it's like a deadly thing there. I'm pretty certain they actually used it. Hold on. Did they actually have to used to have that? Or is that something I'm absolutely just thumbing right now? I'm just gonna check. Also, I'm just gonna reload the stream here. Oh, it's still like... What is going on here? Is it my internet or is it the stream? Hold on, I'm just gonna check. It must be the stream. Okay. I have Yoko's stream in the background because she is here. Oh, no problem, Tour Girl. I'll see you in the next stream. Have a good day or good night. I'll see you next time. Bye. And also, I know it's evening where you are. I don't know. I just went like, I'm just gonna check. Was spy Bulgarian umbrella. Oh yeah, it was real. Yeah. So I heard somewhere about some sort of umbrella that was like used by spies with poison in it. I'm like, Jesus. What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet. Is this newspaper article? Exclusive deadly poison stolen from human medical research laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was government secret. It was all the English woman's doing. What? It was when the professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. A so-called English lady sworn in and without any compunction said to Professor Mikotomo. Oh, Professor, surely you jest. would love to hear about your work on the substance here.
It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. Sasaki-san's curiosity has been piqued, so I had a little choice but to give him a cursory introduction.
Then Sasaki-san knew about the poison.
Yes, and it's highly likely. The reporter was writing up a story about us. Would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too.
Yeah, he stole it. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach? Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been there. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Oh,
A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Sasaki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office.
yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police.
Just checking the time. Yes, that must what been happening. Counsel, I just heard that the news witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed into the courtroom at once. It's time to steel ourselves once again, then. The defense authority, Ryutaro Naruto.
Yes? Let's see how this goes then. We at least have about like 40 minutes to play through this.
I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Ray Mumbami. Prosecutor Auchi, have you summoned the new witness?
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
No.
He looks very happy. During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikotobak's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Jessie Brett's life.
Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency. Too kind. I will be carrying out your instructions, of course.
I had the region delivered to the police headquarters by rickshaw, so it would have been there in good time.
By judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. And counsel, what were the results? This dagger, which was so crudely used to end the life of the victim, sorry, I don't know why I staggered with that one, has no trace of poison anywhere along the blade. Well, are you sure about that? I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
Going with the region to test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake.
So, no, yeah, but I'm pretty certain I know what actually has trace of the poison in it. In short, accused feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed. Now, the prosecution is ready to call the next witness.
The newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Good. Very well, officer. Bring the witness in.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that really was the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
Yeah, he has an ink spot on his hand, so I'm guessing it's like something has leaked. I'm guessing he's just like filled up his pen with it instead. Right in my memento after issuing new news. What people like to call a journal. What's a journal, father? Do you know? It's simply a contradiction of journalist. A contraction of journalist. I'm there where the breaking news, putting pen to paper, catch those scoops. So they're in print the next morning. Oh shit. Oh. I was about to say, if you actually let go of that, it's gonna hurt as hell, but apparently he has nipples of steel. Jesus, this is the we have a man of steel and we have the man with nipples of steel. You don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guys of the news.
Oh, so it was you who took this photograph, was it?
Well, what we have here?
I'm sorry?
Oh, brace yourself, people. Minimentus sends a scoop in the offing. Also, I do like his music. Female student up to foul play defended by curious, handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The reader will lap this up, they'll set it above the... I'm actually gonna be honest, he is like... Wait, is it yeah, he's rolling his camera around. It's like flipping it. The reader will lap this up, will set above the fold at 72 prints in a 5-legit format for the morning edition. Right then, let's start with your name.
Oh, it's Ryutaro Naruto.
Next, what when you become a lawyer?
I want to reform our country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryutaro has suddenly become a very ambitious I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while. By the way, my name is Takeuchi Aochi. That's Taketsuchi Aochi. It's so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart.
I don't think he gives a shit, really. No, the reason won't buy that. Also, you did see the mark on his left arm, right? It's the same as a pen. Yes? What will this court amount to now know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered this morning to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be a journal if I didn't click quick when they present a school like it was like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you got to be fast. Gotta go fast. Now I just want to like paint blue hair, like just blue spiky hair on him. Yeah, you see the mark there on his arm. Fast legs to run with, and fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't know it down. Oh, as I always say, I have to piss fast whenever I need a break. Jesus, everything does is fast. That's why I call my many memoirs. Hold on, what the hell do you call? Many memoirs. Many memoirs. What the hell? Many memoirs. Yeah, even I cannot pronounce that. Ah, yes, I remember your face. We met that day where you were interviewing myself as a second son. Yes, right, that's me. Memo again. But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoujo News office after our meeting. But the scoop is I didn't. Because the English woman would have piqued my journalistic interest.
He spreads words.
A criminal left to do as you please just because she happens to be British citizen. It's horse dung. This country's juridical is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court is rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns.
Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play.
Very well. I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Memo pad. Jesus Christ. It's not your legs, your hand, and your piss that goes fast. Even your mouth goes fast. Are you ready? I read it out. Right, here it goes. I should like to go with everyone to see the country's coast. A serious criminal going to on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I could hammer her in the press. But do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The crime scene portrayed in this photograph. Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journal eyes. From the start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. I just realized I started jumping again with my feet. Thank you, Manny Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. Death, I mean, not deaths. If you would need to have multiple deaths, I would guess you would be a half god. If you couldn't die, you would be a god, and if you don't know what dying is, I guess you are an elder god. I don't even know if that even makes sense. The beach house was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps that I could see through. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, whipped out my camera ready to click. Did anyone else just get a flashback of one of the new Jumanji movies where they just talk about smoldering all the time? Also, I do love the classic as well, not gonna lie. I pulled apart the rough weaves on one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. Also, I'm not really a fast reader, so if I like stop up with this guy, it's because I'm trying to read so I can do his voice. Read screens, you say? Right, you can see them clearly through that great shot I snapped. Yeah, it's literally just like... They were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. It was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up.
Ignoring for the time being that appalling invasion of privacy involved, did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut?
Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish.
And you say that you took the photographs through a gap in one of the screens?
Luckily for me, they were perfectly shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. I could get away with it. Would I get away with it, or would I been seen? It was a gamble of a lifetime.
A tendency of purpose that considered admirable in journalists, I suppose.
Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's the minimalism in a nutshell. Jesus Christ, I cannot even pronounce that so fast. I cannot even pronounce it slow. At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict. No, I still have the pen that he thinks is the perfect evidence.
Wonderful news, Your Excellency, wonderful.
Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one more large question.
What question?
Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all making of an exceptional story for the reporter. When then was the story never published? That is actually true. It was sent to the police, probably to like as a safe holder for this guy. But he never did that. Still nipples. It is clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood.
More pathetic excuses.
Very well then, counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Just gonna check. Something is going on in the background at least. I'm gonna check that later when my stream is done. So for those who doesn't know, I have just Joker Pokemon open in the background here just for fun.
He keeps something about this kid at close to his chest.
Yeah, and his arm. I'm just gonna press everything on the camera and see if I can find something here.
What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place?
Call it your instinct. Can you think of a better reason?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because, as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman.
I see where you're going with this. Brace yourself, people. He is painting the journal as a voyeur. I have no idea how to pronounce that, and I think I might know what that is.
It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera, you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge.
Nope, you got it all wrong, little student boy.
Sorry?
To my mind, all that was inside the hood was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoop knows no gender, man or woman, it's all news. That's not even the menomenism, it's basic journalism, Jesus Christ. I really don't like when it uses that word because bloody hell, I cannot say that for my life. Right, so it was all bottom up, can we move on? Tell the court then, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut? Hut. A sight that was vindicated, my journal instincts, that's what. And when I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all clear as day.
Hold it!
So you actually saw Membami's-san entering the hut?
Yep, she was raging like my journal spirit.
And the argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly?
You stole it. I didn't steal it. That kind of thing.
Talking about the poison, I suppose.
The student girl walked up to the English woman and really started laying it on her. I mean, if she laid it into her anymore, they would have been eggs. What was that fucking sentence? The man would have been an author. He described talents are wasted on journalism. But the student ratings fell on deaf ears like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time.
He really ought to work on his smiles first, though, to be honest.
Anyway, the point is that woman is the dog was mightily angry.
And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems dear to me.
Which was the climatic moment that I caught on film.
Hold it!
Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place?
Ah, the precise moment. I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out. From start to finish.
I have a simple plan of the beach hut.
Oh, sorry, I don't know why his like squeaky thing disappeared.
Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed.
Right you are. It's all here in my mini memo pad. Jesus. So I believe he's either like around the chair or around the dress part. I'm sure that English woman was on this stool in the back of the hut here.
Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that. He just sat there with the back of the hut, smiling sweetly. It was what I noted down.
It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Then, the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The Englishman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two paces each other. What you describe as grim crime indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what the many memoism says. Jesus Christ. I really don't like that word, especially trying to pronounce it.
By the way, many Memo-san, while as you were watching the terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap of the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film?
Journalists have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's a raison d'etre. I don't know what that even means. Or how to pronounce that.
So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all?
Obviously not. And the observers all remains. On the outside looking in.
And that's something to be proud of, is it?
Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor. I think the witness' last extremely phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Father, what are you...
I will grant the defense request. Many Memo, son, you will supplement your formal testimony with a affirmation statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of many memoism. I'll gladly prove that words aren't meaningless. So I'm gonna save here. I'm gonna have to end this stream.